Welcome to another episode.
Welcome to another episode of Your Voice Matters. I'm Viv Cunningham with Preferred Real Estate Broker selling the American Dream here in Central Florida. I'm so excited to be living here in Florida and such a great day and a blessed day just to be here. But today is the last Sunday of the month and it's Black History Month. And I haven't done anything in Black History, but I have my one and only, like, childhood friend, childhood whatever, all the way back from 1980. I met her and met her family and was once married to her brother. And she's my ex-husband's sister. And so we go back a long way. We have such a long bond. And, we took care of each other when we were teenager. We just got out of high school. So she became a school teacher. So I know she knows a lot about history and so we're going to be talking today a lot about different kinds of history. As you know, we are both from Jamaica. So I was just talking to someone today that I really don't know about much about history because in Jamaica, being from Jamaica, I didn't learn that much. And when I came to the United States, it was just English and a small amount of English. And it wasn't really Black in English or Black history. It was just English, and I did poorly at it. I probably always got a C. So anyway, she and I are going to be carrying on a camaraderie, just have fun with it. And we're going to be talking about, history. So I'm going to introduce you to Miss Bouvier William Clark, and I met her in 1980, and she was married to the late Bunny Ruggs, and he was one of my very special person. And I remember when I first met him and he got into my life, he came into my life. And I remember I was telling Adriana that I threatened him that if anything ever happened to her,
Right.
if she ever hurt a hair in our head, you're going to have to answer to me. And that was always so funny that every time he see me, but what I love about him, he was so respectful. And I'm telling you, he loved Bouvier. He loved,
Yes.
he would lay his jacket on the floor. He wouldn't even have her clean the kitchen floor. He
No.
did not want her to blacken or scuff her knees. He was one of a kind. I've never, out of my lifetime, I've ever came across any gentleman that was like that. So he was very special to me, and
Yes.
loved him. I think about him every day, But of course, Bouvier, she was working here and working there. But you know what I liked about him? He pushed her to her dream. And
Yes.
and tell her, go finish your schooling. And I'm going to ask you, have you ever always wanted to be a teacher?
Hello everybody. Thanks for having me on. Like Viv says, we go way back, and she holds a special place in my heart. Yes, I've always wanted to become a teacher. When I first went to college, I think my dad said, do something that I can support myself, because at that time teachers, we still don't get the money that we deserve, but we are getting a little bit more money. But that time, you didn't get any money, little bit of money. And he said, do something. So I was more in accounting. And then when I got married, Ruggs, he said, oh, you're always miserable going to work. Why don't you do something that you want to do? And I was like, he says, put your 2 weeks in. He said, no, don't come back home until you put your 2 weeks in, and then register to become a teacher. Register. So I went to UCF and I got my teaching degree. And then he said, okay, I want to be an administrator. He said, okay, go back and do get your master's. And then when he passed, I was working on my doctorate, which I kind of, because it's so connected to him, I just I didn't want to do it anymore. I guess maybe because I don't know, because he wasn't here, or I just grieving, you go through a lot of things that so I kind of just put it on hold. But now I don't know if I want to do it in education.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. So to spend all that money and all those years to finish my doctorate about something that I don't want, not sure what I want to do. So, but yes, always from I was in Jamaica, I used to teach my chickens. Seriously, the chicken them that outside. Listen, I used to have school, sit on a rock have school. And then, we used to give them because them do so well. My bracelet, my mother nearly killed me. The one, where's your bangles? They left me to kitchen.
Oh my goodness, really?
So I always, always, always had a passion for teaching.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I mean, I'm so happy. I mean, no, it's different. It's really different. I mean, I have to be honest. It's like I don't know what teacher will tell you that it's not different. No, it's
Mm-hmm.
really, really difficult. But when you make that difference, it gives, I don't know, it's a feeling. Even if you touch one child, and they
Mm-hmm.
will say, Miss, you see them later on and they're successful, and I'm saying, Miss, you remember how you pushed me, or Miss,
Mm-hmm.
you think I'd be here for you because if it weren't for you, and then you're like, okay, it's worth it,
Yes.
so you have those days that you see somebody, or you even on Facebook, because now they're grown-ups,
Mm-hmm.
and they're on my Facebook, and they're successful, like I think recently a student, man, she got an award for like best media something, like, and I said, oh, congrats. She said, Miss, if you didn't push me to write, and I'm like, whoa, I wasn't even saying, I was just saying congrats, didn't know I had
Yeah.
influenced her at all. So it makes the difference.
So
So I mean, I
so
love it.
it's amazing just to think that teachers is what, even though you're supposed to be grooming from home, but
Yes,
teachers is what form you or make you. And just the important word, just like you said, you pushed her and you didn't even know
yes,
that.
yes,
You didn't know that you pushed her. But teacher is such, even though they don't get pay what they deserve,
yeah,
teachers are so important, because a teacher can lift you up or break you down. And majority of the story that I hear is always a teacher saying, I remember when I think Steve Harvey, the teacher told Steve Harvey told the teacher that he wanted to be an actor, and he says that she said, oh, you ain't suitable for that, but look where he is right now.
yes,
I'll
yeah,
show
yeah,
you. I'm gonna send you something to my wedding. I'm gonna send you something to my
yes,
graduation. I'm gonna send you something
yes.
to my kids. Just because you could have pushed me.
Yes, and that is true, because as teachers, we don't realize that sometimes we say things lightly, but we
Hmm.
don't realize how someone picks it up. Because I mean, I've had two incidents where I just say something jokingly, and it changed the whole child's life. Like it's, and I said, "Oh my God, that was just a joke."
I
So,
know.
yes, and I'm like, like the girl stopped. She stopped. She was like my favorite, not favorite, but I mean, yeah, she
Yeah.
participate.
Right.
Miss, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? Listen to me. All of a sudden, the girl stopped doing stuff, and I said, "Oh my God, what is going on?" What? And I reached out to the dad, and the dad said, "This is what happened." And I said, "Oh my goodness, just one thing. So you have to be careful here." They say, "There's
Hmm.
life in your tongue. You
Yeah.
can
Yes.
destroy, or you
Yes.
can build up."
Yes.
And so that, and then at that moment, it's for you now to be the bigger person and apologize, like, I'm
Hmm.
really sorry, I didn't mean it, but I think of Adriana, when
Hmm.
Adriana was in college, her in college, so that
Hmm.
that is not that long, I mean, in,
Right.
you know she said she wanted to be lead anchor, because
Hmm.
her,
Yes.
her master's
I
international
remember.
broadcasting, yes.
Yes.
And the teacher told her that with that afro,
I
she had
hear. I remember.
no job. Nobody
Yes.
will want her. And she come home and she said, Mommy, can you believe that a
Yes.
professor told her that? And she
Yes.
said, Mommy, the professor don't know me. She
No.
don't know, say I can break all kind of barrier. Adriana went on to study, got her master's in England.
Hmm.
BBC said
Yes.
they will not take any intern from America.
Hmm.
America. Their only intern has to be European. They don't allow interns from
Right.
America. Adriana was the first American
Yes.
American student to
Hmm.
get an internship at BBC, and they were going to um, offer a job, but
Yes.
I got sick and she came home. But I mean, she didn't. She break barriers, and America,
Yes.
she went worldwide,
Exactly.
global. And so you don't know favor, you don't know what a person can do. So can you imagine if she come home and cry and she said, Mommy,
Yes.
I'm so glad that you and Daddy always tell, build us up, how we're positive, how nothing is, especially our, their dad, that nothing's impossible.
Right.
Work at it and look at it. So
Yeah.
she broke all barriers. She
Yes.
broke all barriers.
And that's
But
the same thing with Oprah Winfrey, when they told her about her hair, or
yes,
told about she wasn't pretty enough. But that's why she has that great dad that pushed her
yes,
and let her know that nothing is impossible for her. And
yes,
look where
yes,
she is now. She's have her own radio station show that she's doing, and she's
yes,
singing. But see, that's the thing. People don't know people, and they
yes,
judge them. They judge them
right,
by their hair. Erica
yes,
Badu talks about bad hair. You judge people by not by the contents of their heart, but what's on the
no,
outside.
yeah,
And that's why we're talking about Black history today. Is like a lot of people don't know, when we cut blood, when we cut our skin,
yes,
we bleed the same blood. Yours
yes,
is not red and mine is
yes,
not blue. We bleed the same blood, and people don't understand. People use words to build people up and
yeah,
not tear people down. Because look at where she is now. She's
yeah.
singing. She's made records.
Yes.
And by
And she
lucky
would
people
have been
who
there
listen.
working if she didn't come home because I got sick.
Yeah,
And I
I
even said,
remember. I
yeah, I
remember.
said, Adrian, you can, she said, no, mommy, I want to stay with you.
You
But
know.
I mean, the door was open for her. The
Yes.
door, and even at the end, the internship, they said, because she was so good, they paid her.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
And remarkable
So
just to think that they didn't accept anyone from
yes,
America, but yet they
a
accepted her
black
and
girl
they're
with
paying her
afro. Mm-hmm.
with an
Yep.
afro. With an
Yep.
afro. So
Yes.
don't judge. That's why we're here today
Yes.
to talk
Yes.
about. But
One
I.
second. Yes. Hold on. Hold on a
We
second. One second.
yeah.
One second. Sorry.
Yeah. So Karen, I see you there. That's awesome. So yeah, today we're going to talk a little bit about Black history. We were talking. I remember talking to your husband today about I didn't know much about Black history, which I don't. But each topic, what I do is depending on what somebody's talking about. I always study it, and so I have something to talk about. And today we were talking about somebody mentioned to me about the Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was reading up on it about how they burned down those people's. They burned down their entire city.
Yes, and stole everything that was there.
Yeah, and then they said over 800 people was hospitalized, had to be treated for injury. Just to think that how cruel people can be, when they just go and here it is, and it was one of the richest area. They had rich car, they had rich clothes, they were living a great life, and just because of jealousy. Over 10,000 people they were talking about was homeless in
Yes.
Tulsa. Over 10,000 people was homeless there. So Miss Bouvier, let's talk about some history.
Okay.
Now
Yes. Go
one
ahead.
question before we talk about the history. I don't mean to bring this back up, but now that Mr. Bunny Rose Clark is not there to push you anymore, I know you say you don't feel like doing anything. How do you feel right now that so many years has passed by? How do you feel with him being gone and there's nobody there to push you?
Um, it's an emptiness. It's an emptiness that I don't know how it can be filled, but it's not an emptiness that it make me sit and do nothing.
Mm-hmm,
Right?
mm-hmm.
So, hi Karen. So so I mean I want to I have the drive, but I don't know what I have the passion for.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But then that he has left all his music
Yes.
that needs attention,
Okay.
because he did a lot of work, more work outside of the group than in the group.
Right.
Everywhere he went and there was a studio,
Mm-hmm.
he recorded a song. So there's a whole bunch of songs that I could do albums after albums.
Okay.
His whole legacy, the company. So there are things, but because I'm so still emotional,
Okay.
it is difficult for me to go through, because
Mhm.
he wrote in a journal, every day. I have boxes and boxes. He on January 1st, January 31st, every year, you buy one of those journals that you can write in a year.
Mm-hmm.
The red ones, the thick ones, and write from January 1st to January 31st.
Mm-hmm.
and
Wow.
and he wrote everything in there. And Adrian, I was even going through, and she said, "Mommy, he even write that he took lunch to give you because you left your lunch there."
That's
So,
amazing.
but I've never looked at it because I didn't want him to stop writing. So
Mm-hmm,
I'm
mm-hmm.
sure in every he has left me so many clues
Yes,
because
yes.
now the business is there. I have no clue because I try to live I like grounded life and make
Mm-hmm.
my girls grounded. So I didn't want them to live this superstar child life.
Right, right,
So
right.
I stayed grounded. So when he was telling me, Bouvier, look at this. This is where this is. I said, no, 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 that's your world. You know,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
my world is not like it's not that. I'm a teacher. My kids going to school. They're really successful students, and they're good. They're really good girls. You know, um, when I say good in the sense of um, they're kind. You know, yeah, they're positive, not just outlook their heart is really they're really
Mm-hmm.
kind and wonderful girls. So I don't know.
So I'm gonna challenge you.
Can I
Okay.
Yes,
interject something before you challenge her?
Okay.
yes,
Bouvier, that wasn't your life, that what you said, but it was your life, because if it wasn't your life, the evidence would not be here now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for you and the girls alone, it's for all the people that he's impacted. It's for all. So you're going to have to find a way. If you can't do it, then the girls have to fight, because there's a lot of people waiting. This is you have the storehouse, and there's a
yes,
lot of people out there waiting to be blessed
Yes.
by the
yes,
storehouse.
yes,
I know
yes,
it's hard for
Yeah.
you, and
Yeah.
it's good that I think it's Adrian who is into music, but you have
yes.
the other daughter, and they
She's
bring
actually
what they
CEO
bring.
of the company, and he made her the CEO of the company
Right.
before he left. So I
Yeah.
think in his spirit must have been moving ahead.
It
Yes,
was,
And,
yes,
it
and
was.
that's the challenge for me that I was going to challenge you. I challenge you to get started on that, because right now, just like you said, you don't want to go for your doctorate. So
yes,
this is going to be the challenge that Karen is talking about. That's what you're going to I'm going to have you start on, because you know me already. I'm
yes,
challenging you.
yeah,
So
yes.
go ahead and get started on that, because just like Karen says, he left all of that legacy. People need
And
to
he
be hearing
worked
that.
so hard.
Exactly. So why would you
He
sweep it
worked
underneath the rug
so
and leave it that
hard.
way?
You know what he would say? I'm telling you, even when he's on the road, and tired, he said, he said, my family must eat. That's what
Yes.
he's like. He said, Mumsy, I'm leaving you stuff. Una can't hungry.
Exactly. So
And
he
I
left you.
know.
So okay. So I'm so glad that I invited you to talk on here today, because I didn't know all of this. I know you tell me a lot of stuff and things like
Yes,
that, but that part, I know about all the music that he left and things like that, but I didn't know that part, that what he's talking about. My family must eat. That's
yes,
a word. My family must
yes,
eat.
must
So
eat.
I challenge you. What Karen is saying is for you to get started, and that's going to be your passion from now on, because you know what, you're going to leave a legacy for your grandkids, because
Yes,
your kids is already
yes. The
grown.
Bible said that. Yes,
Yes, so go ahead and get started on that. I'm so happy that you're on here today talking about that, because that is what this is all about. That's why God just laid this on my heart. Says start this podcast that says your
yes,
voice matters, because I try to draw things out of people. That is just hidden in there.
yes,
So it's time for you to get going on that, and I challenge you. Okay, to take that up,
yeah.
starting this week. Do a little bit at a time and get it out. Because
One book at a time. One book at
Yes,
a time. Yes,
that's it. One thing at a time. And I know you're gonna cry because you're a crier.
yeah, yeah.
And that's okay. You go ahead and cry.
Yes.
And also, you want to make sure that the business is still compliant.
Yes.
Oh no, no,
Oh,
we still register. It's still registered.
Ah, there you
yeah.
go. So you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're just allowing the false evidences to appear real, and false evidence will always appear real. But you are a believer, and the
Yes.
who that is in you is stronger than any
Yes.
fear that you could
That's in the
be.
world.
Look at
Exactly.
there you go.
Yes,
Yeah,
girl. Yes, girl.
we're gonna work on it.
Yes. So work
Adriana
on that.
started and then she can't, yeah, but we're
Yeah.
gonna work on it.
And
But
I'm
it,
and I'm gonna be questioning you. I'm gonna ask you, because I'm gonna that's it. I'm gonna ask you, what are you doing? What have you done in the business? What have
okay.
you? Yeah. So so I know where you are. That's just me. I challenge you for that. Okay.
And
And then
challenge,
that's
yeah, and I also am writing a book that not finished.
yes. Okay. All right.
And
Good
the
for
book is
you.
about our life, right?
Okay. Very good. Good.
And because people want to know that
Yes.
side of him, Viv, that you
Yes.
know, because they
Yes.
only know his side. I mean,
Right.
the
Right.
the um
The artist.
the
Yes.
artist.
Right. The
They
side
know,
that he lays his jacket down for you. He would not let you bed
yeah,
on the floor to wash the
yes,
floor. Yes.
and he don't joke with his profession. Like, so
No.
they see when he's on time all the time. He's never late.
Yes.
he
Yes.
he sleeps like before shows, rest his voice. He don't play around. He said, this is my instrument, I can't afford. So he takes things so seriously, so they see that side. They don't know that he has a soft side.
Yes.
But
He does. He's very
um
soft, very
yeah,
gentle.
yeah.
Yes. Very
So
gentle. Yeah.
yeah, because
So,
I think I've maxed out my teaching,
I think so too, because
passion,
you and I've spoken that several
yeah,
times
I've
about
maxed
it,
it
and it's
out.
been for a couple of years now. So I
Yes,
think it's time
yes,
for you to start concentrating more on this business, because I can hear the passion and I can see the
yeah,
feeling. And you need to be reading all these diary that he wrote and get
yeah,
started on that, because that stuff need to be inside your book.
yes, yes,
You know.
yes,
So
yes,
yeah.
yes.
All right. So let's jump a little bit into the history
So,
part. Now, tell me, when you teach in school, what are some of the things that you teach it?
all
Because
right.
I didn't know about much about Black history. So I talked to a lot of people, and they were just telling me a little bit of stuff. I know about the Oklahoma
Black
stuff.
Wall Street. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
hang on. Yeah, I know about that stuff, but like I learned stuff about the Black Wall Street, things like that.
yes,
I was learning about Shirley Chisholm, but and I just know the new stuff about, like,
okay.
Barack Obama and the Kamala Harris and stuff like that. So let's talk a little bit about the history that you teaches in school.
All right. So I teach literature, right?
Hmm.
English, but based on our governor right now, right? There's something called critical theory, not
Hmm.
critical theory, critical CRI, um, where he has removed. I don't know why I lost the word. He has removed Black history out of literature. Like, so we don't read about Maya Angelou, we don't read about Black
Hmm.
artists now. So needless to say, that's another reason the kids are bored. It's predominantly European artists or American white artists that he left in the textbook. He's also done that to college,
Hmm.
and has challenged the college to any teacher that teaches anything about race, about history, about slavery, about anything that he says that makes another ethnic group offended, then we need to remove it.
Okay. Hmm.
And I can't understand, I really can't understand how so many people have just sat and allowed him to do that. So what happens now is that we're reading more informational text, more text geared to, like I said, with white writers. Before, we used to do a lot with Maya Angelou. We read a
Hmm.
lot of her poems. Even I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, and that was about her life being raped, and she didn't speak for a while because she
Hmm.
thought the rapist. It was because she had said it that the rapist died, so she was
Hmm.
silent.
Hmm.
A student said to me, hold on, one second, Anya. Sorry, I had to babysit today too. Sorry. So a student said to me, when we started February, I said, Black history, and they were talking. She said, Miss, why are you excited about that? And I said, because this is a time for us to celebrate. She said, Miss, first they give us the shortest month, but we still have a month, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
We can't, it don't mean that we stop celebrating Black, we stop Blackness, Black history, contributions because February done. So I said, no, but look at the fact that, look what you could do as a Black girl. What could you do to bring light to this? Maybe you could have started, maybe do some step work, maybe do something of that. No, just bring something that something, and put light to it and show a positive side of African American, African American history. And she said, yeah,
Hmm.
okay, Miss, yeah, I guess when you look at it from that perspective. But the thing is that we we have 28 days, all right?
Hmm.
Are we
Hmm.
gonna sit and just not do anything just because we want to spite the white man for giving us 28 days?
Hmm. Right.
Or do we flip it and show the world how great we are
Yeah.
in 28 days.
Right.
Because there's Hispanic month, but they get
Mhm.
regular month, right? I mean, let's look at it realistically. They get the whole month. And then
Yeah.
some of them we will share with them. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying, listen, I'm just saying what's real. So there are a lot of there are a lot of things that are negative right now in the Black community. First of all, they need to pull up the pants,
Mhm. Yes.
and if
Yeah.
they want to wear the dreads, keep the dreads tidy. I mean, there's so many
Yes.
things now that it's just, and that no, the worst thing, Viv, and me and them fight on this all day, and I say, Miss, that's how it is, using the N word. Jesus
Mhm.
have
Mhm.
mercy.
Mhm.
They use it, all Black people. But when somebody else use them, they can't use
Yeah.
it. If you use it, they can use it. You
That's
can't.
right.
Listen to me. That is what, of all the things they'll tell you. I go off on them. I write them up. They're like, but Miss, it's not that serious. We talk to each other like that. I
Mhm.
said, no. Then if it's not that serious, when a non-Black person or non-person of color with it say to you, then why are you offended?
Right.
Offended it if it's not that much. And I'm saying that people
Yes. Yes.
died for that, for so
Died
that
for
word
that.
could be removed.
Set,
Died.
yeah, they set the path for us. You know, and that's why we were talking before when you went away for a few seconds. Karen, I was talking about all the people that they killed in Oklahoma. I mean, there was like thousands of people. There was over I think
Yeah,
10,000 or
they
something like
claim
that
that
people.
only 30. They
There was
claim
like
only
10,000
30.
people that
Yes.
was left
No,
homeless
there's thousands
from
of
that.
people. Yes. And
Yeah.
in this situation, look at all that wealth. Look at
Yes.
what that could have moved and
Exactly.
moved to other places. And it was based on that a Black man went into an elevator.
Right.
Yes, and then a white woman screamed, and then all of a sudden he was accused
Yeah.
that sexual
Of
assault.
rape. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the police and government and everybody just moving and take over. No trial, nothing,
Exactly. And lynch and kill the man.
and kill the man and then go in
And it wasn't even a man, it was a little boy.
and destroy the whole community.
You know?
You know, them say, I've heard this and I don't know if it's in the Bible where it says that the grave is very wealthy because
Yes.
a lot of people died with, like I said, dreams.
Yes. Yes.
Their thoughts, ideas, thing, not just physical wealth, but
Mhm.
things that could change the world,
World.
change situation, give people positive outcome,
Right.
positive outlook. And
Yes.
they went to the grave with it.
Mhm. And that's what I tell
Right?
my mother. I told my mom that's the richest place in the world, the cemetery.
Yeah.
People die with their dream. And that's why I started this podcast. I didn't really want to start it, but God said you will do this. And I told Karen today, I name it A Talk with Viv. And he had me change it. He says, no, I need to change it to Your Voice Matters.
Yeah.
You know, so and you're so right about that, and you're taking the word out of my mouth by saying that people die with their dreams.
Yeah.
There's so much dream that people die with because they're so afraid to step out.
Yes. And like, well, even if you ask an African American student now or student of color, whether Hispanic, ask them about slavery, do you know they don't know?
Right.
I was going to teach something. The only text in the beginning before Governor DeSantis moved everything out was Martin Luther King "I Have a Dream" speech,
Mm-hmm.
and I was saying to them that he says even one of the best metaphors he used when he said that they've given us a bounce check. We can't cash the check. Them claim that we are equal, that we are Americans, that we carry this dream, but we can't see it. We don't experience it. We don't have nothing that show that we are American. He said they give us a bounce check. The kids are like, so what? So I said, do you understand? Do you know slavery? No, I just know some Black people that was on a ship. And they come over some slave. I said, no. They were free when they left their country. Of course, I mean, we know that some Blacks were sold into slavery by other Blacks. But I'm thinking that anyhow, they knew that they were coming here under the slavery mentality, slavery suppression, horrific time in history. They wouldn't sell the people them. But they don't understand. I said, no, they were free. they're traveling over. Some of them they travel. I'm trying to tell them that they had the men down and the women up, so the white men could pass and rape them whenever they wanted to. And then some of them would jump off of the ship to death because they
Mm-hmm.
realized it was so horrible. Can you imagine being on a ship like that? You no bathroom, all you do is just tie up to one
Yes,
another.
yes, yes.
And the air, I mean, it's just feces, urine. There's no hope. They might beat you, and then you come here now, and then you work for nothing and make them wealthy, and they talk about not giving you anything, and you don't think that that part of history needs to be talked about, discussed, so we
Mm-hmm.
don't
Mm-hmm.
repeat it. So we don't repeat. No white student I know is offended by that, because this generation has broken barriers. They don't have no white and black ism up.
Right, yeah.
When we was in school, women, if a black guy go to talk to a white girl, jungle fever.
Right, right. There would be fight.
Yes, but no,
Yes.
blacks to whites to black, Spanish. I mean, this generation has, and that's what I like. If I can say one thing I like about that, they've broken down barriers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have
Mm-hmm.
no isms up. I love you for who you are, not for what
Yes.
you look like, right? So,
Yes.
so they have no problem about discussing history.
I have a question. A whole bunch of
Yes.
people are asking question. I have somebody that says
Sorry.
thoughts on your men being haunted or hunted, being hunted. What's your thought? They're asking. My thing is on that is I was going to talk about, when a police officer stop
Yes.
a black person and you have to put your hands on the steering wheels, your
Yes.
two on the steering wheel, because they might be afraid, of what's going to happen. That's a big concern.
Yes.
Because you're afraid for your black boys, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. But I mean, yes, you are afraid. And the thing is that it better just comply. But the thing is, okay, so it's a horrible thing to be hunted. It's a horrible thing in a free world where you have rights as anybody else, where you actually your forefathers built this nation to what it is. So it is a first world country, right? That means that somebody has, like when somebody say your grandmother pray for you,
Yeah.
yes, so you can, so there's some things in life that you don't fall to because prayers cover you. All right, so I mean, we have to comply because we can't be foolish. We can't
Right.
be like ignorant to what really is happening, that there is racism, and makes sense you challenge them because you could die, right? We know
Mhm.
that.
Yes, somebody
But
say worldwide racism is
yes,
worldwide.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
So it's worldwide. It's
Mhm.
racism everywhere, right? So I mean, as a wise person, I mean, as a parent, you have to teach your boy, listen, if the police stop you, surrender. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because
Mhm.
uh it's not it's not wise. It's very foolish right now to challenge them. They have a gun, and at anything, and I'm not saying, please, that all white police are like so. I'm not
Right,
saying
right,
that.
right.
And it could also be somebody who is not even like that, but because they
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
that they're in danger.
Yes,
They
they have that
act that way.
fear. Yes, they're afraid.
Yes.
They're afraid of their life, so they
So
don't
they're
really
like,
know.
okay, yeah, and come on, and it's not. I mean, there should be trained, but there's circumstances. It's just like, I mean, look at situation even in schools when we have
Mhm.
resource officers that they're trained, and when them guns are fired, they know where to help the students, right?
Right, right. Exactly, exactly.
So you don't know at the moment freezing and how you'll act.
Mhm.
But what
Mhm.
I'm saying is that, and what the problem I'm having, we know these things. That, like I said, Governor DeSantis didn't, he never hide how he means.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
how is he still there? And I'm not saying, listen, everybody talk about the COVID and he's good with COVID. He paying teachers. He gave new teachers with no experience the same money as the veterans teachers. If that's why so many veterans teachers left.
I guess that's the part in the Bible that says that the man went out to go get the worker, and the worker started at 12 o'clock, and some started at 5 and got the same money.
That listen, so you saying that, oh yes, yes, he's, so those first year teachers, Them take the money and leave because they realize say it is not a joke. It's not
Yes, it is, and that's why that's why the veteran teachers that are there, we got to pay them what more than what they're worth, because just like you said, the newer ones are coming in and getting the same money,
Yes.
so then therefore you need to be paying them because they've been there so long, so you need to pay them.
And then so what have they been doing? There's so many jobs that are open now that they can get twice as much, so they're going to those jobs.
Yeah.
But I go back to voting. Like, okay, so there are two ways economically. As people of color, we spend a lot of money on. We look good. We want to drive nice things and drive cars and stuff. So how can you make a change? It stops supporting financially, because we are big supporters, financially, of different institution or organization,
Yeah.
companies. But then why don't we vote? Why is only 23% of African Americans
Right.
voting we're not talking about the 4-year election for the president.
Yeah.
We're talking about local
local
election that
right
affect us. Why didn't we go out to vote?
And then they have so much to say, and you don't vote.
You don't vote.
You don't have a
vote
voice
when
if
it
you don't vote.
matters. Yes. It's the local election that affects you. It's the local election that affects how you live, where you live, how the roads look.
Yeah, how much money comes into your system, how much money you get for housing, how much money you get for rental. They don't understand all of that.
How is Florida? It must be the second state with the highest amount of rent, and so how is that? Florida?
It's expensive. Being a realtor is like people are paying like $1,600 for one apartment, $1,800 for one bedroom apartment. How can people afford that?
And the income hasn't risen. No. So there are things that we can do. There are things that we can do as people of color, right? To change, like I was telling the student, to change our situation, to stand together, to support each other, recognize, celebrate, right?
Yes.
Celebrate our Blackness, celebrate our history. We have made so many contributions. We have made so many contributions to literature, to art, to music. We have wealthy people in a lot of these industries. You see Black women, they're CEO. They're doing things. They're doing things. Colleges are look at the great. One time you see every other. It's now. Black people, color people are graduating. They're going to college. They're not just sitting home waiting. It's not just sagging the pants, and it's not.
Right.
Like, there are people who are making a difference. So we have to celebrate that. We have to encourage that. We have to encourage our young people. I strongly feel this, and I know that they're under attack because of social media. And I'm not saying anything wrong with it.
Right.
But there's a part of social media that gives them false narrative, false hope, a false outlook of life, where they think I'm only going to be a reality star. That's the only thing that will make money, or I can live that way. If I don't have the 200 feet weave and the eyelashes up, so that I'm not beautiful. How is that?
Right. Yeah.
How does that,
it goes back to Adriana and the hair.
Yeah.
Where you think because your hair is not straight, you're not gonna. But how do you know what somebody wants to do? Being a reggae star or reggae singer or something like that, our hair don't have to be straight, because that's what Jamaica is all about. The naturalness, that's the beauty.
Yeah. So if you're now going to tell me that I have to have straight hair, like I'm Chinese, like I'm Asian, like I'm a white person,
right?
Straight hair, and that's how I feel beautiful, then I know I have a problem with that. And I know even as Caribbean people, a lot of times, and I know in Jamaica, and I'm speaking from Jamaica, that their parents, their people in Jamaica, they look at you, boy, you're fatty, Oh
Yeah.
Lord, I mean, it's never, they always look at why you look so, and they don't realize what they're doing. Hence, we can have people who are that they're changing their whole body. They're going to surgery, risking their life to
Mm-hmm.
look a certain way. That means that that is still in their mind. That picture of beauty that you tell them that they have to look like, right? Because you
Right.
already asked them, why your hair so natty? Why are
Mm-hmm.
these so this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why are, yes, you already told them that they're not beautiful.
Yeah.
When my girls were younger, I bought two colored dolls, a white doll and a black doll. Listen, they must see themselves.
Mm-hmm.
When, so no problem. You have white friends and you have black, but then you must. It can't just be a Barbie white Barbie, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's from then that you teach them about self empowerment, loving self.
Yes,
From then,
itself.
if you want
Mm-hmm.
to show them, say it's only a white girl or a white Barbie look prettier, that's what you suppose. Then that's all they're thinking that is beautiful. So I think I put a lot of it on parents, a lot of it
Mm-hmm.
on parents. Empower your children, empower your girls to think,
Mm-hmm.
let them think that they're, empower your young men,
Yes.
your boys, to
Yes.
teach them how to treat a woman
Exactly. Yes.
positive. Stop
Mm-hmm.
calling her the B word. Stop
Right. Right.
calling her the
Yes.
W word.
Mm-hmm.
um Girls, stop saying that all men are worthless. Stop it. Stop
Yes.
giving yourself away. Some of them, I was reading an article, sorry, that they were saying that how many girls enter into high school and they're not a virgin.
Mm-hmm.
That they lose their virginity from middle school
Wow.
because they're thinking that that's how somebody's gonna love them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
again, parents, you have to step up and start being a part of your children's lives. You can't, and then when they send them to school and a teacher says something, you're like, oh, that teacher is imposing his or her views on your child. But you give us no choice because
Mm-hmm.
we're not only teachers, we're counselors, we're educators, we are motivators. There's so many roles that a teacher
Yes.
plays. Like
Yes.
teaching is the least that I do. Miss, I have a problem, miss. And it's and you're thinking, but mom should have dealt with this. Dad should have
Mm-hmm.
dealt with this. So, parents, we can't be out there, um, and you put yourself first, and then you let the internet raise your
Yeah.
children.
It
And
starts.
then,
It start from home. It start from home,
yeah,
and that's where we have to
yeah,
start from. Let's jump into a little bit about some of the. We wouldn't be where we are without a Black American or Black African American or a Black person.
yeah,
I was reading up on the internet the amount of things that we have created.
yes,
Karen and I was talking a little bit about that today, about some of the things that we have created, like let's talk about the traffic light, things
yeah.
like that. The gas mask, we created so many things just to think, even the stuff that just straighten the hair, straighten
Oh
out hair
yeah,
that was so
the
nappy.
marker. Yes, yes, yes,
Peanut butter, the amount of stuff that, because we didn't have anything better to do, so that's what we did. We
yes,
stayed at home, and
yes.
we create all of these things. Potato chips, let's talk a little bit about some of these things that that they
Oh,
created, how well it, like the traffic light.
yes,
I mean, there would be so many traffic accidents
yes,
if the traffic
yeah.
light wasn't there.
Yeah, there are so many things that we have. We can't even remember some of the things because every day, like come Black History,
Yeah.
you find out something else that someone else who have uh uh something else that we benefit from. Even I
Mm-hmm.
think the microwave, right?
Yes.
Even
Yes.
something else that we make has made our life so much easier.
Yep.
Huh?
A lot of these things.
A
Without it,
lot of
where would
things.
we be?
I would talk about, like Jackie Robinson to
Mm-hmm.
open up doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about even Marcus Garvey to let us realize our blackness. We
Mm-hmm.
talk about the Renaissance. Langston Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, we talk about, of course, uh Lord, we can't even remember some of
Like
the.
Barack Obama,
Oh
and
my goodness.
just think that he
Yes,
opens up
yes,
the door where
yes,
anybody can do anything. Kamala Harris, that just to think that
yes.
anyone can do anything that they want. Like somebody was talking
Anything,
about, somebody
anything.
had a question in there about so many thugs are getting hunted. But pull up your pants.
Yes,
Pull up your
yes.
pants
It's
and
a
be
new day.
respectful.
Yeah, yeah.
So be respectful. Be respectful out there. So hello, ladies. Be respectful out there to just like you said to people who you come across.
Yeah.
It starts at home.
Yeah, why
You
am I
know,
looking at your underwear? Like, why am I looking
yeah.
at your underwear?
Why do I need to see that?
I mean,
You
it,
know,
it, yeah, it's not, and then they don't even know the history behind it because it
yeah,
has to do with jail. I think it was a Hispanic person in jail created something for, so it's not even a positive thing. It's not even, as I say, it's not even a positive thing. And you're weird and you're looking like that. Why do I need to see? And then can't even walk. So I'm saying there's
yeah.
nothing attractive about that.
Yeah, and they cannot explain. It's like I heard a story about about the mother cutting off the end of the both end of the ham, and then finally somebody said, "Why do you cut the end of the ham off?" And they said, "Because my mom do." But go back to say because the pan was too small. That's
Yes,
why they cut the end of the
yes.
ham on in order to fit it inside the pan.
So
But you
they,
got a bigger pan in your pantry, put
yes,
it in there. But
yes.
that's the thing you don't understand.
No,
Why does your pan so low?
and they have access to the information at their fingertips. You remember when we had to go and go through encyclopedia.
Yes,
They
yes.
have it
I have a
Google.
bunch of them in my garage right now.
Yes, then all they have to do is Google it.
Yes.
Google it.
Uncle Google.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they can find it. There's so many positive people. There's so many I mean it saddens me when I think of how much different they could make, because like I said, they have done the difficult part of breaking down those barriers of accepting each other. That's a big part where they
Hmm.
accept each other. So now they just have now to do the change um and make a contribution. Like you can't just live and you haven't contributed nothing to the
Nothing.
world, nothing.
Nothing. I
But,
remember one time when I was
yeah,
in with New Jersey, and I remember I used to love Charles Barkley,
yes,
and then Charles Barkley, it was something to do a leader, and then Charles Barkley says, "I am not a leader."
yeah,
But you are a leader because people watch you, people follow you, people
yes,
admire you, people
yes,
love to see you play basketball. So
yeah,
you are, so put good things out. I love Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and stuff like
yes.
that, how they lift people up,
LeBron, the
LeBron,
fighter.
all of these famous people. I just love, Tim Tebow. I just love the way that they're always
Yes,
positive and lifting people up. And, we need more of those people in the
yeah.
world.
We need it. Yeah,
To
yeah,
be lifting up, to be grooming our kids, lifting our kids. And, I do a lot of volunteering. I went to Salvation Army the other day, and, I didn't even know that's why I say people stand on the outside looking in. I
yeah,
didn't even know what Salvation
yeah,
Army stand for, to be honest with you.
yeah.
And I learned that Salvation Army was some guy that was him and his wife was in England, and he decided he was walking on the street and saw somebody was homeless and they were begging, and he decided he was going to give them salvation, and he's in the army, so he calls it Salvation Army. And then look how big Salvation Army right now. They said Salvation Army just only keep 15% of the money that is donated in order to pay the salary. The rest of it they put back out there into the community. But a lot of time we don't know what we don't know until we're
Yes,
actually on the inside.
yes,
We're looking out from the inside and not from the outside looking in. So that's so
yeah,
important,
yeah.
for parents to be able to raise their kids up. And then just like you were talking about, they don't even know why their pants is down so low because they just saw somebody wearing
It's
it and think
fashion.
it's
Yeah, I
cute,
think it's fashion. Yeah.
and think it's cute, you
You know,
know.
yeah. It's. I think, like I said, our young people, they have no history, and then to take this even just out of schools, the history. So that
Mhm.
was probably the only place that they would learn it. Now it's taken out of our schools, right? So, it. Can you imagine not ever knowing? you know, what your forefathers, the price they
Yeah,
paid
they
for
paid.
you to be free.
And it was so scary living back then, just to
Yes,
think they would beat you
yes,
to death and they would
yes.
lynch you no matter what age you are. They would lynch you. You know, we have so much of that in Florida, where people was lynched. You know, Coe, Florida, right here,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
where
I
so many
didn't
people,
forget. I was
yes,
reading that too. Yes.
yes, where people was lynched in Coe, Florida.
Yeah.
That's why they rename a certain section of that right there in Ocoee,
Right.
Florida, Martin
Yes.
Luther King.
Yeah.
But a lot of that stuff we don't know until we read it, just like I was reading up on the
Uh-huh.
Black history stuff. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know that. I'm
Yes.
not gonna say, yeah, I came from Jamaica. In Jamaica, we don't have none of this foolishness
Yeah,
where
we have
where
our
there's
own
white and
history.
black and stuff like
Yes.
that.
We're all Black people. We're all
We're all
Jamaican.
one people.
Yes.
When a white person out there, when they talk, it doesn't matter if they're white or black, it
Yes.
doesn't Indian or
Yes.
whatever, it doesn't matter. We're all one people.
Yeah, we're all Jamaicans. Yeah.
So that's
When I first came here too, like this, like we're all one.
yeah.
And then there's
You know,
white,
it was a
blacks.
rude awakening when we got here, wasn't it? It was a rude
Mhm.
awakening to see that there was so
And
much prejudice here.
we didn't have any much Spanish people then, so it was
No.
that's why you're either white or you're black.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're coming to the end of our time now. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you think we should talk about, or you should say?
No, I think we touched a lot of the areas with our community and what we're going through. Like I said, Black people, there's something about us, right? That even the way, I mean, we speak, I mean, even our humor, that is, it's worth spreading,
Mm-hmm.
right? There is love. We are overcomers. We are resilient. Look at what we have gone through. And let me tell you something. We have gone through so much, and we could really be angry,
Mm-hmm.
We could
Mm-hmm.
really do some things, and we don't. I think African Americans are very passive, because when you think about the slaves that were sent in like Jamaica, they were
Mm-hmm.
rebellious. We didn't have
Mm-hmm.
slavery. They fought. They died. Some of them died on slavery. Didn't last, but look how long it lasted. These people were they're really, African Americans are really kind. They're not as aggressive. They're not as, rebellious. And they've gone through so much, and so they could really be hateful,
Angry.
hostile,
Yeah,
angry,
angry.
and they're
And
not.
that's why a lot of them are some of them are hold restitution from,
Yeah,
all of the beating and all the things, because I read
yeah,
up on that as well, where they were owed money, and some of them were
yeah,
paid for it.
reparation. Yeah,
Yes.
it's not. Yeah, so it's they're uh African American, we shouldn't be. We need. We ourselves can pull ourselves up.
That's it.
Like we can pull ourselves up.
And we're going to end with that.
Yeah,
We can pull ourselves up. I like that word.
yes,
We can pull ourselves up, and that's what we should be doing. Karen,
yeah.
I'm going to have you let you say for a few seconds something that, if you have anything to contribute before we end
No,
this awesome conversation.
all I want to say is they cannot take away from you what's inside of you. So now is the time for you to go back to the basics. Go back,
Yeah.
start, go to the library, read a book, find out who Zora Neale Hurston is if you're from Florida, right here in Orlando.
Right
Find
down
out who
in
Julius Perry.
Orlando. Yes.
Find out who Julius Perry is and find out why he died. He died because he wanted to go vote. He
Mhm.
owned land in Ocoee. Find out what Winston Salem is. Find out who he was. Find
Yeah.
out why they call it the Who's estate. Find
Mhm.
out who you are. Find out in 1851 who was the guy who
Mhm.
signed the dollar bill. You'll be surprised how much value you have as an African here in America.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyway, leave your comments. If you have any questions, leave them below. And then also, if you have a topic that you want us to talk about, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. I'm going to be posting this online, along with any links or anything like that normally I post. I'm going to be posting those online, so you're able to click the links. And if you need any information from any of these ladies here, and you want to be a teacher, I'm going to have you reach Miss Bouvier. She'll probably want to mentor you, because we're going to need a lot of teachers out there. And we're going to need a lot of strong teachers, okay? You
Yeah.
can't be wimpy when you're teaching. You're going to have to be strong. So I'm always mentoring people being in real estate. So I know if you're looking for somebody, and she's always pointing you in the right direction. So don't be afraid to reach out, leave your questions below. Like, comment, and share. Coming up this Saturday, March 4th, I'm going to have my meetup. Meet me here. It's going to be at the Lakewood Winery in Claremont, and it's going to be from 2 until 5. And then you can bring your lawn chair. You can bring your blanket, whatever it is that you want to bring. And you can walk through the wine factory and have a taste of wine or something like that. They have different kinds of wine. They'll give you like a little snippet. Also, don't forget to sign up for my first time home buyers class. That's coming up next week. And it's once a month, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 6:30 until 9. I look forward to seeing you there. And don't forget, I will have my links below for my free seller's book and seller's guide. I look forward to seeing you. Have the best day of your life. I thank you so much for joining us, where we will have more great conversations. So tune in next week, like, comment, and share.
Blessings.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
watching.
Thank you for listening. See you on the next episode of Your Voice Matters.